I appreciate everybody joining today. We're going to talk about a little bit about how to leverage AI for business success. We're also going to discuss where we are in the evolution of AI. Just take a look at these questions real quick. How often does your business use AI tools? Looks like 100% have said at least somewhat, and 75% are somewhat often or very often. And probably 100%, quite honestly, are somewhat often. A lot of times we're using AI and we don't even know it. It is already in many of the different tools that we use. How willing are we to make this shift to AI in our business? Very willing is more than 50%, and somewhat willing is the other half. And how worried are you that AI could eventually replace your role? Some of you are a little bit worried, but most of you are not worried at all. I'd love to see that. Probably got a lot of smart people on this webinar. So I will, I guess we could have shared those results, Jeremy. Could they see the results there?
No.
No. Okay, so we'll get started. I really appreciate everyone joining. I'll start off with just a little bit about Kraus, and then we're going to jump into what we're discussing. Kraus Marketing was started back in 2004. We're located as our main offices in Morristown, New Jersey, but we do have offices in Manhattan and in Tampa as well. We're lucky enough to be award-winning. Some of the awards that we have won, if you could flip slide, Jeremy, include GD USA. GD USA was a magazine that used to sit on my desk when I was in college. Now we're lucky enough to be featured in it, as well as Inc. 5000 several times of fastest growing businesses in the country. We work with some of the country's largest brands, but we're lucky enough to work with a lot of the quickly growing regional brands in the regions that we work with as well. We're a full team of marketing experts. We practice an all under one roof solution. If you could flip slides, Jeremy. So what we do at Kraus Marketing is employ all full-time employees, all FTEs here. We find that delivers the most value to our clients, as opposed to having 1099s work for us, which many agencies do. Full-time employees, we believe, deliver the best value because we could have them switch work and switch tasks on a dime based on our clients' needs. Marketing is very much that business. It's a now thing, while planning ahead is 100% what we always try to do. Things that have to happen now is very common, and having full-time employees are important for that, to deliver that value. Having 1099s means getting in their schedule, which doesn't deliver a lot of value to our clients. We also have several different departments that focus in exactly what they do. So as opposed to the really boutique agencies that have your graphic design and your web designer as the same person, or your search engine optimization and your copywriter is the same person, et cetera, we have people that focus exactly in their expertise, which makes them the best at what they do. Today, we have on the call some of our experts at Kraus Marketing. We employ only the best, but I think we got 4 of the best for you today for sure. Jeremy Roth, our marketing manager, Amanda Tulin, our content coordinator, Megan Brockman, our content manager, and Mark Mustachio, our business development executive and manager. They'll be talking to you a little bit about some of the tools we use and some of the trends that we're seeing. Next slide. So today we're going to talk about those trends, democratization, generative and explainable AI. We are going to explain what that means. The regulations and legislation around AI. Many of you know that Sam Altman testified before Congress this week about AI. He was interviewed by CNBC afterwards of what that looked like. The testifying really wasn't testifying at all. Sam Altman described it as educating the government on what AI exactly means. I think most of us are in that phase right now. So we'll talk a little bit about those regulations and some of those processes and preparing for the future. We'll talk about some of the latest tools. Some of these tools you'll be able to use right away. Of course, we all know ChatGPT. We'll show you some of the powers of it, and then the future of AI. And speaking of the future of AI, Elon Musk was talking about a temporary pause. Now, what Elon says sometimes is self-serving. So who knows if he wanted a temporary pause so he could catch up. But AI is advancing very fast, and people are a little bit nervous about it. And understanding it is something that will only come with time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it off to Jeremy. But before I do, I want you to know that when you're thinking about your position and your jobs, that just like many of the tools we use, they're only as good as the people that are using them. I could hand a hammer to a carpenter or hand a hammer to Jeremy, and that tool is only as good, sorry, Jeremy, only as good as the person that's using it. Now, you'll find that the same with these tools. Ask stupid questions, get stupid answers, but also having someone to interpret whether the answer is relevant is the next thing as well. I'll let you take it, Jeremy.
Awesome. So I'll jump right in. So we'll start off by giving a little bit of a background definition on what is AI, because the definition, as Nick was talking about, is changing every day in our own businesses. So we'll jump in. I picked out 3 main themes that I think we can combine into the true definition of artificial intelligence. So the first component is that pattern recognition, essentially combining these learning patterns, data, whether it's first party, cognitive, biometric, to essentially make predictions that revolutionize the way that we're performing our everyday tasks and activities. Next is that human perception. As it is, AI is built by humans for the benefit of humans. So by getting AI to think like us, it can have a greater perception on the outputs and outcomes that we want it to produce. Last is the fact that it can be experienced pretty much everywhere, especially now, which is more of a trend now than ever before. So we're seeing it on our websites, in our cars, in airports, pretty much anything we need to do. We're starting to say that there's an AI for that. Now, why are we here right now? Why are we talking about AI now? So let's ask the question, like, for starters, the development's so fast, it's almost hard to keep up with. Even while we were studying and putting this together, we were reading new articles every day and making changes to this. The capabilities we have to use these multifaceted tools in our day-to-days are evolving, and most of the time we don't even notice it. So if it's not already a part of our respective businesses, it's at least becoming a part of that conversation. And with any new capabilities or invention, we all know how important it is to familiarize ourselves, stay relevant, stay one step ahead. So if we're not going to have this conversation now, then we're just going to fall behind. So I'll kick that forward into talking about some of the modern AI trends. So there's a lot of them. So we try to narrow it down to kind of these 3 overarching themes. And we'll start out with AI democratization, which essentially means that AI is now for everyone. So what used to be a novelty, this technology, it used to be something that really can only be understood or used by those with a tech background. But now a lot of these algorithms, tools, they're completely open source. So with these reduced entry barriers, even the average person can go online, use them, learn about them. I can go online right now, pull up a blog, article, YouTube video, learn all about an AI application. And if I wanted to dive right in, a lot of them cost nothing to even try. So of course, the speed of adoption and the ability to use them to improve our client experiences, our own experiences, are really great in theory. But like anything, democratization comes with its pitfalls. So a vast majority of us are very quick to jump on this bandwagon of AI, but we're not 100% prepared to deal with what happens if those wheels were to fall off. So it's important to be able to maximize these benefits while mitigating those potential risks. And as we move further in the webinar and we start talking about the tools and the tactics, we'll get into what some of those risks might be. Next, we have generative AI. So we're probably all aware of generative AI without the fancy label that I threw up here for principal. So generative AI is the combination of existing data, whether it's first party, biometrics like our fingerprints or eye tracking, neural networks that mimic the human brain to create these personalized experiences for us. And I know a lot of us aren't too thrilled with the amount of data that technology can collect on us, but sometimes, especially with things like this, we can kind of admit that the outcomes could be pretty cool and useful. For example, on the left, you'll see Spotify's AI DJ, which takes our listening habits to generate really super specific personalized playlists for us. If you ever shopped on Amazon, I'm sure you're already aware of its product recommendations, which interestingly enough makes up for 35% of Amazon's annual revenue, which is pretty crazy to think about when you think of how big Amazon is and how much they do. So at the bottom, you can see a recommendation I received when looking to buy a basketball. And even though I don't think that the ball is the actual problem, I did appreciate Amazon looking out for me. So to build off of Amazon, we see their natural language processing capabilities in things like Alexa, also in Siri and Google Assistants. In our airports, they're using AI to help people skip lines using Clear, which uses kind of that biometric data to identify and pass us right through to our gates. So these are just a few of the ways that generative AI and AI in general are personalizing our day-to-day tasks and activities. This is the part that I personally find cool and not as scary. Next, we have explainable AI. So I wanted to touch on this before we move forward, because not only are we going to be explaining all of the AI and what it is, but it really presents a much larger theme within all of this. So as I mentioned before, with democratization, we all have the ability to use AI tools, but we all don't have the ability to explain why it does the things that it does. So this presents the black box problem, all of us being able to generate AI outputs without really knowing how to retrace our steps to correct an issue if it doesn't give the output that we were looking for. So these explainable AI models are more than just a blog post or a YouTube video. They're outlines that characterize the real decision-making power of AI to improve that fairness and accuracy. And eventually these models are going to be super important to make sure that we can change the outcomes of AI tools, be able to explain to regulators or our own customers and consumers why they should not only trust the tools, but why they should trust us as well. And I think this segues into a really powerful quote from IBM, and I think it sums up a lot of what you'll get from the rest of the webinar. We aim to create and offer reliable technology that can augment, not replace, human decision-making. So now we'll touch on some of the legislations and regulations, and spoiler alert, there aren't a whole lot right now, and we'll get to why exactly that is. So it's no secret that AI tools aren't just for fun, but a lot of businesses, whether they're fully aware of it or not, are becoming dependent on them to increase efficiency within their business and outside of their business. And an interesting note you'll see there is from a study of business executives. It showed that 33% think they use AI, when in reality, 77% actually use it. And that's how hidden it really is within all of the devices and processes that we're using. So for example, in marketing and advertising, we can use it to measure campaigns, collect data in Google Analytics, and personalize the content that we put out on social media or in a blog post, which you'll see later on. In fintech, consumers are using it to apply for loans, credit cards, and there's AI-powered fraud detection. Healthcare, it's drastically improving the way patients can receive diagnosis and doctors can optimize lab results. In education, we already saw how much AI played a factor in remote learning during the heat of COVID. So it's really evolving the way that businesses do pretty much everything. Moving on to the actual rules being put in place, I think the map on the left side of the screen tells all. Very, very few states are on it right now. And a lot of the states you see highlighted really only have regulations that revolve around specific use cases like the ones I talked about in the previous slide. So for example, New York recently passed a law that all AEDTs, which are automated employment decision tools, they must undergo annual bias testing. So these are tools that can essentially scan anybody's resume and make an instant decision if that person is fit for a role before even an actual interview. So you can see why some sort of bias test or regulation is so important with a decision like that. There's other states that are passing laws to grant opt-out rights to consumers who don't want AI to make high impact decisions for them. So if you apply for a loan or housing or education, you can opt out to have an actual human being make that decision for you. We're already seeing the next one in data collection, but if AI is in use for any process, a lot of businesses are starting to be required to disclose that in their privacy policies for increased transparency. In my opinion, that should be done anyway, but that's the types of regulations that are going to start to be put in place. So on the federal level, you have to dig really deep to find even proposed regulations. Trust me, I tried very, very hard for this. But lawmakers are kind of just like us, probably a little bit older, and they're playing around with the concepts without truly understanding the long-term implications. So as we're trying to figure out what those implications are, the best we can do is prepare for the future of it. So even though it's very much a gray area right now, as AI continues to evolve, there will be a very big need for some sort of governance or rules. So on the left is just a checklist and things to look out for if AI is in your business already, or if you're considering a change in the near future. And it starts with understanding your AI. So as I mentioned, a lot of people and executives are unaware of what AI they're actually using. So definitely start there, figure out if you're using it, where you're using it. It's not safe to assume that if you are using it, these robots can take care of themselves. So be prepared to standardize the way you perform risk assessments, have compliance within your organization to monitor these tools, because at some point you will have to have communication that will have to be pre-prepared to describe the relevancy, the accuracy. If a regulator or one of your customers or clients comes knocking on your door looking for answers, you want to be prepared to hand those right out. So now I'll kick it over to the rest of the team to talk about a few of the tools they use in their roles and how they use them efficiently and effectively.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Megan, and the first tool we're going to be discussing is ChatGPT and how to leverage the tool for business success. So as ChatGPT continues to buzz around the media and take the world by storm, you may have found yourself asking, what exactly is it? Created by OpenAI and released on November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT is an AI-driven chatbot that uses a natural language processing tool to create on-demand, personalized responses in a conversational format. The platform was recently upgraded to ChatGPT-4 for paying users, bringing several benefits for businesses who are utilizing the tool, such as more creative and collaborative feedback, advanced reasoning capabilities, and the ability to solve difficult problems with greater accuracy. In fact, thanks to its advancement in knowledge, ChatGPT is able to score higher approximate percentiles among test takers, where it placed in the top 10% of the legal bar exam and within the top 1% of scorers in the USA Biology Olympiad semifinal competition. And with OpenAI's dedication to updating the platform, one of the most exciting developments for ChatGPT is the recent launch of plugins for web browsing and code interpretation. Previously, ChatGPT's knowledge was limited to dates, events, and people prior to around September 2021. However, with the new plugins, the bot can browse the web and access third-party knowledge sources and databases using the Bing Search API. Additionally, the Code Interpreter plugin gives users the ability to solve complex mathematical problems, both qualitative and quantitative, perform data analysis and data visualization, and convert files across formats. And with the launch of the new plugins for the platform, notable businesses have actually jumped on board to implement their service offerings into the platform itself, such as Expedia, Instacart, and Kayak. We even put these plugins to the test like the Kayak example displayed. We asked ChatGPT to provide flight information from New York City for under $500 in June and to supply a Kayak booking link. ChatGPT quickly searched the web and returned an accurate response, including a booking link to Kayak itself. And guess what? When you actually click the link, it brought you to a custom navigation screen already built out with your preferences, making it easy to look at the map and make your destination selection. How cool is that? And ChatGPT is more than just a chatbot. It actually has a wide range of capabilities that can be used in various industries to streamline your operations. So first, ChatGPT can actually help you create content ideas at scale that you may not have thought of before. So by providing the platform with a detailed prompt, like the example for the Philadelphia Zoo displayed. The AI tool can generate high-value content ideas that resonate with your target audience. Additionally, ChatGPT can also assist HR in key activities such as providing essential information and guidance to new hires and facilitating the orientation process. Additionally, it can help integrate interview questions and generate key performance plans. Another really cool feature of the platform is its ability to actually craft customer surveys. So when you're looking for quality questions to ask prospects and clients that you're working with, the platform can craft a survey with targeted questions based on your prompt. And if you wanted to translate these questions into another language, the platform has the ability to actually translate over 50 different languages, including Spanish, German, French, Chinese, and even Japanese. Now, every business deals with a plethora of documents on a day-to-day basis, whether it's contracts to leases. And ChatGPT can actually analyze and review these documents for you, helping you identify any key clauses and information you can potentially use in your favor for negotiations. And then next, one of my all-time favorite uses of the platform, like hands down, is its ability to perform market research and deliver really good audience insights, such as in the example provided. When we asked ChatGPT to perform competitive market research for a startup dog clothing brand, the platform was able to actually provide valuable insights into who our target customer is and who the biggest players in the game are. And this information is exceptionally and incredibly useful as a start-off point to begin to formulate your business plan and refine your marketing efforts. And lastly, ChatGPT has the capabilities to optimize supply chains within your business by automating processes, identifying inefficiencies through data analysis, and facilitating real-time collaboration to reduce lead times. Now, what's important to note is these capabilities and uses mentioned are merely just the tip of the iceberg. What ChatGPT can achieve ultimately comes down to your imagination and business objectives. All you have to do is ask it. Now, I guarantee a lot of people are asking this question right now, and it's, can AI content rank on Google and search engines? And to answer this, while AI-generated content can be helpful and provide SEO value, it will not be ranked solely based on its use of AI technology. In fact, it's important to note that AI-generated content is actually an extension of what's called article spinning, which is the practice of rewriting someone else's piece of content to create what seems to be an original piece. And this can pose a risk on Google and other search engines if they begin to catch on to the fact that many of the AI-generated pieces being published and written are not actually unique in nature and are only structured for search engine first content and not people first content. And Google has actually hinted at search engine first generated content being an issue by making statements from 2020 to about now that'll only reward relevant, high quality content that prioritizes a good user experience over generic, unoriginal, and pattern structured like content. So while AI content may be a shortcut for now, and Google is not penalizing it at the moment, it's important to note that Google typically makes updates to their platform and algorithm after these shortcuts have almost been implemented into practice. Just like when years ago, you could keyword stuff on web pages or create tons of inbound linking to boost your search engine results to #1. So ultimately, it's our responsibility as content creators to ensure the higher standards are met when generating content through an AI platform, and that value is being produced to our specific target audience through crafted, original, high quality, and people-first content. Now, I will turn it over to Mark, who will be diving into ChatGPT and business development.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our webinar. I'm Mark Mustachio from Kraus Marketing's business development team. And while almost all of the tools mentioned today have some application for business development, I'm going to chat briefly about some of the amazing ways you can use ChatGPT to assist with business development activities. So right off the bat, one of the easiest ways to utilize ChatGPT for new business development efforts is by using it to help generate scripts or talk tracks, speaking points for any of the new business development team members to use when connecting with companies to either identify reasons for doing business together or setting up presentation meetings. Most of us have to communicate with potential customers and prospective clients in some shape or form to generate business. With ChatGPT, you can use it to brainstorm and help create customized, tailored scripts for specific prospects based on their distinct industry, problems, or situations. Even if only for brainstorming purposes, this can be an incredibly helpful exercise to help understand how to better tailor talking points and conversations for the specific person you're speaking to at a prospective company, a client. Taking it to the networking arena, if you've ever attended a networking event or introduced yourself to a room full of people, you've probably heard of or had to give a 30-second commercial or elevator speech. ChatGPT can be amazing for helping to brainstorm creative elevator speeches to help resonate with different groups or organizations and highlight different aspects of your company that might be more relevant for one audience compared to another. And as we mentioned, you can tweak it and rewrite it a number of different ways until you see what you like. You can even use ChatGPT to help develop templated email series funnels like prospect follow-up emails, client correspondence. And this could be all super helpful, like especially if you're like existing team members, but if you're training or onboarding new team members, helping them become comfortable with company specific terminology or how more senior reps may be saying or explaining things in internal processes. You could also use ChatGPT as a sort of business development assistant, using it to identify new business opportunities and even narrow down your existing targets. You can simply input data about your company, your clients, and how you've helped them in the past into ChatGPT, and it will help you brainstorm and even identify similar companies that could benefit from your product or service in the same way. Just like the examples that Megan had shared a few slides earlier about travel and generating demographics and competitive info, it's sort of like having an AI robot to bounce ideas off of. These companies might be in new industries you've never considered, or you might discover that different companies you've never spoken to have similar problems to your existing company customers, and you could potentially add a whole new market of potential revenue by helping those companies as well. Taking the brainstorm concept to the next step, you could even prompt ChatGPT to help create business development strategies for your company based on any number of unique variables that you can think to input into the system. The more you tell it, the more narrowed down and precise the output will be. And this could also be super helpful for like creating things like ideal client profiles for the business development team to focus on targeting and request referrals for throughout their efforts. Jumping forward to the next slide, another great way for the business development team to get value out of ChatGPT is for researching prospect information and developing custom selling strategies. So the same way you input information about your company to identify new opportunities and create ideal client profiles, you could enter information about your prospects to identify valuable competitive research that could assist with meeting preparation or proposal development. It's really just as simple as copying the information about your specific prospect or sales target. You could take it from their website, you could take it from their LinkedIn, and just paste it into ChatGPT with a little bit of a prompt like, below is information about XYZ company from their website, and here's that website URL. And like feed it into ChatGPT. And then from there, you can start to ask ChatGPT all sorts of questions like, who are this company's top competitors? What are this company's unique selling propositions or points of differentiation? What makes this company unique? What are some of the biggest challenges facing this company over the next 3 to 5 years? You'd be amazed at how much information you're given back in such a short period of time. And I mean, at the very least, it eliminates and reduces the need for manual searching through Google and Manta or the like by simply compiling the information for you all in one place and so quickly. You could include this information in presentations, proposals, or just keep it in your back pocket to mention when the time is right. But in all, it leads to increased preparedness, which is usually a good thing. From an individual perspective, let's say you've got a presentation with 3 people at a company, and maybe it's the second or third meeting. You could help understand each individual's personality, likes, interests, things like that, so that you're better prepared when you go into that meeting to understand what each person's unique perspective on the project might be. Similar to how we just discussed, you could take information from their LinkedIn pages and and plug it into ChatGPT and ask it to give you, 15 bullet points to help you better understand each individual's perspective. Last thought with this, essentially, the more info you put into ChatGPT about a specific topic or request, the better suited ChatGPT is going to be to give you an answer. So similarly, the more specific you are with your questions and inquiries regarding that data, the better the output that ChatGPT will provide. And it'll save each of your individual inquiries with your account so that each one of those becomes sort of like an individual conversation with an expert on all that information that you put into it. And we'll kick it back to the other team members to take it through some of the additional risks with ChatGPT.
Okay, thanks, Mark. So yes, risk of ChatGPT. So while ChatGPT is an incredibly useful tool to improve your business efforts as discussed, it's not without its risks. So one of the most significant concerns when using the platform is the potential for undesirable behaviors. And to prevent this, OpenAI has actually implemented various internal and external safeguards into the platform, such as improved data training, red teaming, transparency and explainability, and human in the loop. And as a result of implementing these safeguards, ChatGPT is actually 82% less likely to respond to requests for disallowed content compared to its counterpart, ChatGPT 3.5. Another concern is the possibility of hallucinations, which are super common actually with the platform. And this is where ChatGPT might provide the user with words, names, and ideas that look accurate when in fact one or more pieces of information is incorrect. And users actually have the capability to create false sources for their information and make it look real, such as in the example provided when we asked ChatGPT to verify a link that we made up. And when questioned whether or not it was real, it claimed it was most likely a real link with description of information about the article. And finally, there is a risk of vulnerability exposing data, where an unexpected vulnerability in the platform could lead to a breach of user privacy. And in fact, in March 2023 of this year, it actually did happen, and ChatGPT did experience a global outage after OpenAI discovered a vulnerability in the platform that could breach users' privacy. And leaked details actually included like full names, email addresses, billing information, the last 4 digits of credit card numbers, and even credit card expiration dates, causing a massive concern as to whether or not the platform was safe to use. So while a platform is incredibly intelligent and can help you streamline your business efforts as discussed in a ton of different ways, it is vital to keep in mind the potential risks of using the platform and to take the appropriate measures to protect your privacy and personal information and to always fact check your data to ensure it's factually correct. And now I'm going to pass it off to Amanda, who will be discussing Jasper.
Thank you, Megan. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda, a content coordinator here at Crafts Marketing, and the next AI platform that we're going to be diving into is Jasper AI. So Jasper AI is a company that is laser focused on creating advanced natural language processing technology. And their main goal is essentially to assist businesses in automating and improving their operations through this new power of AI. And because of their deep understanding of the potential that AI has, both in just analyzing as well as understanding human language, they were able to then develop this platform to leverage this new capability. So this software has the remarkable ability to analyze and understand inquiries expressed in just natural day-to-day language. And it can accurately interpret the meaning behind these queries and then provide helpful and relevant responses back, which can help businesses save that valuable time and resources while also enhancing the overall business experience. So Jasper AI offers a robust suite of features that allow businesses to not only take their content generation, but their operational efficiency to the next level. And one of Jasper AI's most notable capabilities is, of course, its powerful AI content generator. And the technologies used allow the platform to understand massive amounts of data through its Google API plugin, which helps it then create relevant, high-quality content. But what really sets Jasper AI apart is its ability to generate content tailored to a user's specific brand voice. And it's so advanced that it can understand the nuances of different brand personalities and can actually adapt its content generation to align with a desired tone, style, and voice that matches your brand. So this ensures that the content that's generated will always match with the existing brand identity and resonate with that target audience. Lastly, Jasper AI has the versatility to generate content in so many different formats, whether it's blog posts, social media captions, product descriptions, or any other type of content. The platform can adapt and develop content that suits the specific format requirements. So there are 4 main ways that businesses can use Jasper AI to automate their efficiencies and operations. And this is through ideation, simplification, efficiency, and consistency. Through ideation, Jasper AI can help businesses generate new ideas for content quickly and efficiently. By analyzing their search data and trends, it can suggest relevant topics for companies to cover in their existing content plan. Through simplification, Jasper AI can simplify content creation by automating many of the tasks that would otherwise require not only human intervention, but take a lot of time as well. And one tool that Jasper has that we're obsessed with is their Explain It to a Child feature. And in addition to its hilarious name, it's also extremely helpful at simplifying complex content. So with this tool, users can copy and paste sections from really intense jargon-heavy articles, and within seconds, Jasper can analyze the article and create an easy to understand summary of the key findings in the article. Through efficiency, Jasper AI can also automate many of those tasks and free up that valuable time. Another really extremely useful tool for businesses is their content summarizer. Similar to their Explain It to a Child feature, users can place complicated articles into the summarizer, and Jasper will then scan it for the most important parts of their article, and then create a bulleted list of the key findings, once again, freeing up businesses with the time to focus on more important business matters. And then lastly, Jasper AI can help businesses maintain consistency by generating content that's tailored to that brand voice that we spoke about. And this just ensures that all content is consistent with the brand's current messaging and values. So while we love Jasper and it has so many amazing benefits for businesses, especially when it comes to optimizing efficiencies, there are some key risks to be made aware of when using this new tool. So Jasper AI does lack personality. It cannot match the experience and personal touch that a human can add to a piece. And while it can replicate that brand tone, the results often do feel a little generic when put side by side with a human generated piece. Additionally, heavy editing will be required. Whether this is a disadvantage really depends on the purpose and utilization of AI for your business. Some users may only require it for an initial rough draft, so extensive editing isn't really a concern. However, shorter content is definitely more manageable for those seeking a refined final product. Jasper also struggles with specialized topics and is most efficient when handling uncomplicated and straightforward requests. So for instance, it may produce better results when writing a post on how to bake a cake in X amount of steps, rather than asking it to just predict the latest short form video trends. And then lastly, there is no fact-checking capability. So Jasper AI does gather information from online sources, like through its Google API plugin that we discussed. However, if the data is incorrect on those web pages, the output will also be inaccurate. And so while Jasper AI offers numerous benefits in automating efficiencies, businesses should definitely be mindful of these risks and exercise appropriate oversight and editing to ensure the highest quality and accuracy of their content. Okay, and so the next AI platform that we're going to be highlighting today is Beautiful AI. So Beautiful AI is an innovative presentation software that essentially transforms the way presentations are created and delivered. And this software leverages that AI automation to generate those visually appealing layouts and saving businesses both that time and extra effort. But what really makes this platform stand out is its user-friendly and streamlined design, and making it accessible for users of all skill levels, which essentially means that it eliminates that need for extensive design skills to still create, stunning presentations that you're proud of. So Beautiful AI offers several advanced features and capabilities that can take these presentations to the next level. Through its dynamic and smart templates, Beautiful AI can automatically adjust as you add or remove any content. So this ensures consistency and coherence throughout the entire presentation. The templates also adapt to content queries, and that ensures that it provides polished and professional look with really minimal effort. Through its smart suggestions, Beautiful AI's smart algorithm provides real-time suggestions to enhance your slides. So it offers different design recommendations, content ideas, even layout improvements to just really ensure that your presentation is up to par with your current standards. But one of our most useful and favorite tools of Beautiful AI is their data visualization tool. With this tool, you can transform really complex data into visually appealing charts, graphs, and infographics essentially effortlessly. There are so many different data visualization tools on the platform to help you present this information in a much more clear and impactful manner than just showing a lot of data on a chart. So this chart on the left is actually data that was taken from Google's ad revenue from 2010 to 2020, and it created this easy to read bar graph. And this is just one example of many ways that you can add, gorgeous charts to your presentations without a lot of the effort. Beautiful AI also has fantastic integration. So it integrates with popular productivity tools like Google Drive, Dropbox, and even Slack, which further enables smooth workflows and easy access to all of your files. Additionally, importing and exporting presentations is a breeze, ensuring that compatibility and accessibility across all of your platforms. And then lastly, when it becomes time to present, you can actually engage with their fantastic presenter mode. So there's a full immersive full screen mode that offers speaker notes, a timer, a laser pointer tool, and overall just enhancing your presentation delivery and professionalism. And Beautiful AI offers a wide range of business applications, which really revolutionizes the way organizations can create and deliver these presentations. So for sales presentations, businesses can create visually stunning sales presentations that can captivate future prospects and drive those conversions. Through their smart templates and content suggestions, businesses can very easily showcase their products and services effectively and deliver those persuasive messages. For investor pitch decks, you can impress potential investors with professional and compelling decks using the dynamic templates and data visualization tools to help present things like market analysis, growth strategies, all of that type of fun stuff. You can also really use Beautiful AI for so many internal processes. So for just internal presentations, you can engage and inform your team members with visually appealing presentations. You can also use it in your training and onboarding. Businesses can streamline their training and onboarding process with these rich presentations. And also it can make some of that really complex training information way more digestible and engaging for your employees. And then lastly, company updates can be created to keep stakeholders informed with clear and concise company updates that match your current branding as well. And so while Beautiful AI offers numerous benefits, it's important to be aware of the potential risks and challenges associated with its usage, especially in a business context. So starting off, there are limited customization options. So while Beautiful AI offers stunning templates and design suggestions, it may have limitations when it comes to extensive customization. So businesses with very specific branding requirements or complex design needs may find the platform's options a bit restrictive. There's also a learning curve to using this platform. Shifting to a new presentation software like Beautiful AI may require your employees to undergo a learning curve to adapt to a new interface and features. And there are also some compatibility issues with legacy systems. So businesses that are using those older existing legacy systems may face compatibility challenges when integrating with Beautiful AI. Right now, it is fortunately can connect to so many different productivity design tools. However, with any existing tools, it will struggle to export, especially into a PDF or a JPEG. So ensuring that integration and compatibility with legacy systems definitely requires additional resources and technical support. And then lastly, the reliance on third-party service. As we all know, Beautiful AI is a third-party service, which means that businesses will be dependent on the platform's availability and continued operation. Therefore, businesses should just have contingency plans in place to address any potentials for service disruption or changes in the offering. And so while Beautiful AI offers these significant advantages, businesses should definitely carefully consider the associated risks and take the necessary steps to mitigate them. And by addressing these concerns, businesses can maximize the benefits of using Beautiful AI.
Hello again. All right, so now I'm back. I'm going to speak a little bit specifically about an AI transcription tool called Otter AI. But before I do, I know we've covered a ton of information so far. So feel free to go ahead and start putting some questions in the Q&A section. I see we've already gotten a couple in there, and any that are a bit more complex, we're happy to address at the end of the presentation. But let's jump in and chat a bit about this AI transcription tool called Otter AI. Very simply put, you could think of Otter AI as the ultimate meeting assistant. Founded by the team at AI Sense with the original purpose of transcription for video, the company began working in partnership with Zoom a few years later, and today they've taken AI transcription to the next level, incorporating features and use applications that allow it to function almost as a personal assistant. One of its core benefits, Otter AI allows us to focus on the conversation and be present during meetings. So many of us are familiar with taking notes during calls and meetings, or even asking another team member to join us on the call to assist with note taking. Otter AI takes away the hassle of multitasking or having multiple team members present during meetings by transcribing the entire interaction and remembering key points so that you can stay on track and keep the flow of the conversation going. Additionally, both free and paid versions of Otter AI offer seamless integration with a ton of other softwares and platforms you're probably already using, like Microsoft Outlook, Teams, Zoom, Google Video, and Calendar. So jumping forward and talking a little bit about using these integrations and connecting Otter AI to things like Google and Microsoft calendars. This basically allows Otter AI to automatically join and begin transcribing these meetings for you as soon as the meeting begins. You can even set rules for it to transcribe maybe some meetings and not others, depending on the priority, if some are internal or whatnot. Taking it a step further beyond meetings, you could use Otter AI to break down and get the most out of webinars. Otter AI will keep track of all the information for you, letting you focus on the presentation and not necessarily note taking. And then the AI kicks in because it'll even separate the transcription into sections or chapters using artificial intelligence, ascribing certain parts of the conversation to certain speakers, depending on who it was who actually said it. Now, taking it a step forward, talking a bit about onboarding and training, you could use Otter AI to help with your onboarding and training, and basically record yourself or your team running through scripts, presentations, proposals, explanation of standard operating procedures, training modules. I mean, if there's special softwares, you can train the walkthroughs. And now you've got all of that information transcribed and broken into sections for easy review by new hires that you might be onboarding. Taking it a step further, you could take that transcription and input it into ChatGPT and then have it use that data to create a step-by-step guide that could be integrated as a consistent element into your training and onboarding process moving forward, reducing the need for the redundant, repetitive nature of coming up with a process every time. And of course, we've already talked about using Otter AI to transcribe meetings, but exploring some of the uses a bit further, consider using the tool for transcribing internal meetings or prospecting calls or presentation meetings and even networking calls. You could easily reference and assign any action items that were discussed, or go back and review key moments and note important comments for use, like with follow-up emails and the like. There's even an option that allows you to auto share any meeting notes taken with all the attendees on the call, which could be super helpful for networking and might even make you the most favorite person on the call. So now jumping and talking about some of the risks associated with Otter AI. Luckily, they're not catastrophic in nature, but as a new tool, there are still some inaccurate transcriptions taking place, which can necessitate review and revisions before dispersing it and utilizing that gathered information. In some tests, the tool actually struggled to reach 90% accuracy, but 90% is still pretty good and can be very helpful and intuitive. And additionally, some of the inaccuracy has been really attributed to factors ranging from like microphone quality to even variations in speech, call it user error. And then in instances with many speakers on a webinar, sometimes Otter AI has difficulty deciphering all of the voices if they're talking over one another and recording that information pertaining to who the correct speaker was. Lastly, Otter AI really has not yet developed capabilities for language other than English, which some other transcription AIs have. So depending on your particular situation, Otter AI may not be the best choice for you. But from an English language transcription perspective, the tool is incredibly impressive and can be super helpful for note taking and acting as a virtual assistant. Kicking it back to the rest of the team now to go through the future of AI.
All right, so now I'll kind of conclude here with kind of the trends to look out for, which we're kind of seeing now, what to look out for in 2023 and in the future as well. So I tried to break it down into what we believe are the top 5 to look out for. The first trend is ethical AI, which goes hand in hand with our previous note about explainable AI. So as AI continues to grow faster than we can even keep up with, there's going to be a greater emphasis to not only be able to explain it, but ensure that the appropriate frameworks are in place to correct those biases, improve transparency with those who interact with the products and our own businesses. We touched on it a little bit already with some of the tools and tactics, but natural language processing is only going to continue to advance. I'm sure we've all had experiences where the responses we get from Siri, Alexa, our Apple Watches aren't all that perfect, but there's rapid efforts to make NLPs more context aware for things like voice search, e-commerce, and different ways that could be beneficial to us. With tools like Jasper and ChatGPT, it's never been easier to simplify the content creation process, whether it's for a blog post or a social post. And as more brands and influencers get their hands on these tools because they are so affordable and easily accessible, you can only imagine how quickly the frequency of content being published is going to increase. But what a lot don't understand, you could probably see from some of the examples that we were showing, there's so much creative detail needed to feed these tools to get the content or engagement that you're exactly looking for. So it's going to be ever more important for us, especially as marketers, to be creative and strategic to stand out from the crowd and that oversaturation of social media content. The next, I have the note about the decline in organic traffic and the increase in website conversions. So in Megan's example with ChatGPT, she showed how easy it was to book a trip through Kayak and how many steps she was able to accomplish before actually getting to the website itself. So this is a trend in SEO called zero-click results. AI is removing the need for us to scroll through a search engine because something like ChatGPT can just provide it up front. But with that said, those who did end up on the website are going to be a lot more intent driven. So like in the Kayak example, Megan already knew exactly what she needed to make that conversion. So although the need to scroll through a search engine is going to increase, those users that land on our websites are probably more likely to convert. So that's definitely something to look out for. And last isn't just the trend, but what I think should be the main takeaway from the webinar in general is the human importance is not going to go anywhere. It's always going to be up to us to improve our strategic thinking, be creative, introduce a little compassion, and make sure the right frameworks are in place to leverage AI in the most efficient and the most ethical way. And that concludes our webinar, and we'll now kick it over. I know we have a couple questions that we might want to get to that we want to answer, so I can kick it over to the team.
So I'll jump. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties, of course. But anyways, so I'll answer one of the first questions that came in from Steven Straub. And he asked that ChatGPT-4, is it able to reference current websites from like the information on current websites, and is there a plugin required? And the best way to answer this is ChatGPT utilizes the Bing API right now plugin to find search information, along with a text-based web browser to navigate results and interact with websites. So it's important to note that it's actually right now kind of almost in like this development stage. So while it may be citing information through Bing, this information might not be 100% correct. So they're still working on these little bugs in the system. So I wouldn't take any citations that the platform is giving you right now to be 100% accurate. I'd always take it almost like with a grain of salt. But yes, the plugin that they are using right now is that Bing API plugin that they're gathering information from the internet to answer like these citation questions. And then I'll pass the next question over to Mark. And it says from Nick Westcott, does Otter AI allow you to save your conversations?
Yes, absolutely. So each conversation is recorded as its own document. You can even access the audio recording, and then the transcription is then broken into who said what, and then broken into almost chapters, depending on, you know, the section of the meeting or the conversation, so that you can jump ahead almost like a table of contents. But short answer is yes, it does save each chat.
Okay, great. And then also too, I think this was a pretty good question that was asked in the chat by Rob. I'll just say it out loud. Is beautiful AI like PowerPoint on steroids? And that's actually one of the best descriptions to kind of put it. And yes, it's it offers like a ton of different templates that Amanda touched on that you can be easily customized through AI technology versus PowerPoint that only has like a limited amount of templates already built into the system that you can edit. So that's a great way to look at it. Is yeah, beautiful AI is 100% like PowerPoint on steroids. And then we had another question come in, and for anyone that's wondering if this presentation will be available later, yes, it 100% will be, and we will send it out to your email right after this presentation is over.
All right, so if we don't have any more questions, like Megan was saying, this will be available momentarily through email after this. We want to thank everyone for joining us today. And as always, reach out to us afterwards if you have any more questions.
Thanks, everyone.